Today is a quick update on the new upcoming Fat Shark Scout HD goggles that are the first goggles from Fat Shark to have their Shark Byte Digital FPV system built in as standard. Over the last couple of weeks and months, they've been giving us various hints, and last week they stated that the new Scout HDs had entered PVT testing, which is production verification testing, and that has all gone well, and they're going to make these available to purchase in the next couple of weeks. Last night, Get FPV have now listed these new goggles available to back order on their website for $250. Now, just to be clear, this is to purchase that initial run of PVT goggles, and this may not be the final retail price when the product officially comes to market. Now, there is some interesting things that we've learned since they've actually updated this listing, and there are some things you do need to be aware of with these goggles. For instance, these are digital only. My understanding is, and as far as the information goes, there is no analog receiver in these goggles. It is HD only for Shark Byte, so they are not going to be a single set of goggles that will do your analog and your digital. Now, some of the new information that we've learned from these new goggles. The first is that they feature a 3.5-inch 1080p LCD screen, which has a refresh rate of 60 frames a second and a 44-degree field of view. The new goggles have multiple adjustments built in. So you've got, for instance, the adjustments for the IPD, you've got the 3-button OSD navigation, and they do have a built-in anti-fog fan as well. Because they're designed to be used with Shark Byte, it does have the Shark Byte TX upgrade port, and it has a built-in SD card slot. Now, there is some stuff that isn't mentioned on this listing that we were under the understanding was happening. So, for instance, there is no mention of HDMI output. My thoughts were that that was going to be available, but there's just no talk about that in the description at all. And my understanding is there's no analog input on these goggles as well. So again, it's going to be Shark Byte only. Something else that isn't mentioned in the marketing for these is built-in antennas, and my belief from Carl at DiviMath is that they do have two built-in patch antennas. We don't fully know if they're left-hand or right-hand circular polarized. We believe they're right, but I'm not sure. And they are built into the goggles as standard, but that isn't mentioned in the description. There's also a bit of ambiguity around the DVR because, again, there's no specific mention of a DVR, but it does say built-in storage. So I am personally expecting there to be a DVR there, but there isn't anything that out and out says it. Now, as I've already said, these are available to pre-order for $250. This is going to be a very limited production run. So if you are interested in getting yourself a set of these, you do want to head over to Get FPV as soon as possible. Now, it is quite interesting the price these have ended up at, because if we look at the normal Scout goggles, these are actually priced at $229. So it's only $20 more for this initial PVT run. But as I've said, I am expecting that price to increase. Personally, probably $300 to $350. Around the $329 is where I'm expecting these to end up with that Shark Byte system built in. But it is worth taking into account that there's no analog in there, so there is some cost savings on that side. It would have been nice to have analog as well, in my opinion. I'd have preferred them to be dual use. I just would always prefer that. And whilst I know the other ones aren't, you do have an analog input, but at the end of the day, these are specifically marketed for use with that Shark Byte system. Now, for me, this really pushes the system into a very interesting period because it's moving out of that more niche into the mainstream, having that built-in set of goggles off the shelf ready to go. It's not going to be ideal for everyone having a box-style goggles, and anyone who's got HDOs or HDO2s are going to be better with the module here and now, but it will be interesting to see how they can cram that into a more traditional style set of FPV goggles from Fat Shark in the future as well. Now, it really is interesting how this system is moving forward, because not only now do we have this fully integrated set of HD goggles, but we've also had the updates over the last couple of weeks and months, and they're really pushing this system forward with more and more interesting features. Really, All we're waiting for now is that better camera, which is coming from HD0. That one isn't labeled Fat Shark. It's actually from Divimath HD0 themselves, and that's going to be available shortly. That's basically the same camera as the Runcam Mippy on the other system, but that should also help push this system forward as well. And then we want those higher power VTXs, 800,000 milliwatts, and that will really then begin to push this system forward. Now, if I find out any more info on things like the HDMI output, the exact orientation of the built-in antennas and stuff like that, I will post it in the comment section of this video. Please do also let me know what you think about these goggles, because for me, I'm actually thinking these are quite interesting. Not perfect for everyone, but it does push the system forward, and I'm really looking forward to trying to get my hands on a set of these and seeing how they actually behave. Anyway, that's it for today's video. If you found it interesting, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell next to it as well. That way you'll get updates when I release any more videos in the future. If you'd like to support the channel, there are links to buy me a coffee as well as Patreon in the description too. And I'd just like to say a massive shout out and thanks to all the people who have used buy me a coffee and my Patreon supporters. And there's a slide at the end of this video where that will show you who they are, and just a big thank you from me as well.